As we mentioned earlier in the program, the US President Joe Biden has cancelled his planned visit to Australia next week. Let's get some reaction from the former Foreign Minister, former New South Wales Premier Bob Carr. Thanks for your time, as always, Bob Carr. You sent a tweet out. I just want to read it to our viewers and get you to elaborate on it. But you said basically, prepare for Biden's next term when frailty and cognitive decline may prevent president's attendances at any forums, leaving things to the unsteady hand of Harris. The White House says it's because of the congressional roadblocks, but clearly you believe there are other risks at play here.
Well, I think we've got to project more realistically as Australians the forces at work in American politics. Clearly, Trump is the choice of his party, and clearly isolationism is becoming more a force in the ranks of congressional Republicans. On the Democratic side, however, the simple truth is that this president has got to respond to a deadlock in Congress and polarisation of American politics and the dysfunctionality of a constitution that's the oldest in the world. It goes back to the 1790s. And I just think we Australians have been enormously gullible and optimistic about our American partner, and we've got to start, Kieran, to factor in to our view of our future in this world the prospect that America could be more unpredictable and more unreliable.
You don't believe that will be questioned here, but you believe it will be questioned elsewhere in the region.
Well, certainly the Prime Minister of India has had a rude confrontation with what Indians would see as American unreliability. India has been welcomed into the Quad. The Quad, I believe, is a good thing. The Quad is a useful forum for diplomatic exchange, and it's a signal to China that should Chinese behaviour become more assertive, this Quad could become more consequential. The Quad is a good thing. It is worth being in, and Anthony Albanese deserves congratulations for attending it promptly a week after he became Prime Minister. But the Quad is not what Australians have been led to believe it is. It's got no security implications. It's got very limited capacity to deliver. It failed to deliver what it had promised, an Asia-wide vaccine in the middle of a pandemic. The Quad is a diplomatic, consultative forum, but a useful signal to the world that these countries can move together. But right now, can consult together if required. But right now, India has had a rude awakening. The Quad is not what it had been held out to it. And I think the Japanese as well would be considering the reliability of America in the context of the cancellation of what they'd been led to believe was going to be a consequential meeting of the Quad.
What would be the reaction, do you think, in Beijing to this, given it has been billed as a counterbalance to China in the region now that this meeting has fallen over?
It's hard to say. I just flicked on English language Chinese TV and noticed that it's full of reports of Xi Jinping's meetings and meetings of the foreign minister with leaders from Central Asia and from Africa. I think because China's the number 2 power in the world, the diplomatic diary in China, the diplomatic calendar is busy enough to distract China's attention from problems with the organisation of a Quad meeting. But again, the Quad has values in sending a message to Beijing that should its behaviour become too assertive, these nations have got a capacity to consult more closely about their response to Chinese behaviour. But we shouldn't believe, as we've been led to believe, that it's as significant a forum as some suggest. The fact that the President can cancel the attendance and the meeting can apparently not proceed is a warning about the limits of America's attention span, and one that Australia ought to take seriously as we project into the future, when America, if not led by Trump, could be led by a hand-picked successor to the Trump faction in the Republican Party. And over the next 4 years, if the Democrats have returned, an increasingly fragile president with a vice president due to succeed him if required, who lacks any real authority within her own party and within this polarised and deadlocked congressional system a creation of the Constitution written in 1790.
With the Trumpian instinct that you referred to of isolationism, they did, the Trump administration and President Trump, still very much a strong supporter of Australia and our alliance with the United States.
Oh, yes, indeed. I don't doubt that for a moment. But what I said in the tweet is what I say here, and that is we cannot overlook the growth within the Republican Party, certainly a Trump-supporting strand of opinion, of people who have, for example, questioned the altogether justified commitment of the West to supporting Ukraine. There are significant Republicans, DeSantis is one of them, who criticise Joe Biden for going to Poland and Ukraine. Now, that's unprecedented. In the past 1960s, 1980s, when a US president has gone abroad, it's invariably with the support of the other side of Congress, because he's representing America in the world. It's quite unprecedented to see what happened a few months ago when Biden went on that all-important mission to give additional support, moral support, and make material contribution to the Ukrainian defense. And he was criticized by isolationists who occupy a significant position in the Republican Party. Think of DeSantis.
Bob Carr,
and his...
thank you. I very much appreciate your time. I'm sorry, I've got to wrap it there. We've got to go.